Channel. Tyler, where do you think that you make all of your money during the mortgage protection appointment? Where do you think you make all your money?
Um, in or after the FIF?
In or after the FIF? What's an FIF?
The financial fire drill. I guess is that what it's called? The FIF? I don't.
Well, Ayers and Sicily used to call it the financial fire drill, which is how I say it now. But it's basically a financial information form. It's like financial analysis. You can call it whatever the hell you want to, but that's what I kind of call it with the client. I don't even tell them what it's called because they don't need to know. But it's basically a breakdown. Well, you tell us, Tyler, you're the one that writes all this business. What would you say that is?
Yeah, I'm just going through. The biggest thing I like to find out is how much money's coming in on each end. If it's a husband and a wife, I want to know how much they got coming, each of them got coming in, and I want it broken down as far as is it coming from a job? Is it coming from Social Security? Is it coming from pension? Is it coming from the VA? I want to know where all that money's coming from. That way I got a pretty good idea of who's losing what. And I learned this from Rex Knight Jr., but as soon as I get their money, I'm kind of like, my favorite question is, I don't remember that guy that was on the Delaney calls, like, hey, are you guys like me in the sense of like both me and my wife are working, both of us are bringing in income in, kind of splitting the bills as evenly as possible, and really at the end of the day, like it takes both of our incomes to live comfortably. Are you guys like us in that sense, or are you guys able to save like one of your guys' income at the end of the month? 95% of the time, oh, yeah, it takes both of our incomes. It takes both of them. Yeah, it takes both of them. This day and time, you can't even ride by the grocery store without money coming out the bank account, right? And then I go into the budget of where's money going? Where's it going? What we spending our money on each and every month? I want as much as possible. If they get a little, if as long as they give me the bare necessities, to where at least I know what's guaranteed to go out. Maybe they don't give me the luxury. Maybe they act a little funky about you don't need to know that I'm paying for Sunday ticket. That's cool. Because at the end of the day, I just need to know what's going out each and every month, how much it takes to keep the home going. That way we know what it looks like if John passes away and what Mary's got to do to make ends meet.
Hmm. So, why do you ask that question?
Which one?
I love that. The one about do y'all save all the money? It's rhetorical to me. I know the answer, but could you explain to like the new person that's like, why would they ask if they save all of the other person's income? Could you
Hmm.
kind of like where are you going with that? Because if you want to close 2 out of 10, play checkers. If you want to close 6 to 7 out of 10, play chess.
Yeah. Yeah. If they just told me that they're not able to save money, it's taken both incomes. So at the end of the day, there's no way you can tell me, oh, well, she'll figure it out. What do you mean? You just told me it took both of your guys' income. Like how does she wake up the day after she's lost her best friend that's been there for the past 35 years? She's got to go through grief. She's got to deal with the funeral. If you guys are working, she's taking time off of work. And you mean to tell me that she can just wake up and replace $3,500 a month on the fly? Like, there's no way, right?
Hmm.
They can't tell me, well, we're able to. You're not able to save money. You just told me that earlier. Painting that picture, we got to see. We got to find a way to kind of see what it looks like when that tragic day comes, right?
Hmm. So if I guess kind of walk me through, I know you said earlier both of y'all pay the bills, right? So I guess if okay, if it takes two incomes to keep the household going now, and y'all are able to save, would you say $300-400 a month? Out of 6 grand, if we're only able to save $300-400 a month, I guess walk me through what would that be like if one of those incomes went away, but obviously the bills stay the same. What do you mean? I'm like, okay, if Roger dies and that 4 grand's not here, and she's still making 2 grand and the bills are still 5 grand, how does she bridge that gap? I don't say it like that. For the purpose of the call. How do we bridge that gap? I guess walk me through. Here's what a financial fire drill is, financial information form, FIF, whatever you want to call it. This is for me, right? For me, I like to pull out let's just go start to bottom, right? On a mortgage protection appointment. If you're one sit closing, I don't do that. So do your thing. Okay. I don't do that on mortgage protection. Um, but I start the call right? I'm usually 5 minutes late. We've talked about this before. Go listen to recordings. That's how I build a little bit of rapport while they think I'm pulling their file up. I ask them questions. Do you remember what mortgage protection is? Don't want to waste your time, yada, yada, yada. Gotcha. I guess, what had you guys looking into this today? Okay, we got a temporary, not a temporary, we got a surface level why. We got enough reason for them to listen to my role and purpose and actually be engaged with it, right? Still got guys still follow me. From there, I get through that. I check for agreement at the end. Sound good, fair enough, right? Get my first yes. Hope you guys are still paying attention. From there, I start doing exactly what I told them I was going to do in in the role and purpose. So if the in the role and purpose, I tell them I'm going to check their medical, and then I'm going to check their mortgage, and then I'm going to go over some finances to see if they even need this and how much they actually need, and then I'm going to show them options. They're going to pick out the one that they like the most, and then I'm going to help them apply for it. Don't be mad at me if they say no. I got plans two, three, and four in my back pocket. If that's what I tell them on the front of the call, people are like, "Well, what comes next in the call?" It's like whatever the hell you said earlier, but it's got to be the same. Okay, it's got to be the same. A lot of times we lose trust with people because they say like, "Oh yeah, well just tell me the price," and then you just don't do what you say. Okay, that number one rule today: do what you say. All right, be the professional. I'll put you this way: if the doctor that, well, granted, bless her heart, I don't think she did anything right in this process, but she did set a role and purpose whenever me and Holly thought that we were having a miscarriage. Literally a year, about 11 months ago, we thought we were having a miscarriage. Went to the hospital, 1 a.m., sat in a waiting room for 7 hours. Again, neither here nor there. We get with the doctor, Tyler, and here's what she says. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do a pelvic exam, I think, and then we're going to do blood work because they didn't do it in the waiting room like they were supposed to. And then we're going to do an ultrasound, right? She said, I'm not going to tell you if your baby is here or not until I'm 100% certain. That's what she said. That's what she said. 3 minutes into the pelvic exam, she told us we had a miscarriage. 3 hours later, she still did the ultrasound because the blood work came back funky. She still did the blood work. She was like, "This don't look right. You sure you weren't having twins?" Like, promise you we weren't. And then they do an ultrasound 3 hours later and like, "Hey, we found a heartbeat. I don't know what to tell you." I'm like, "Well, it sounds like we're still good. We still good? Great. See ya. Never." Fuck you guys. Thank you for the heart attack. We appreciate it. Right? But if she hadn't have set a role and purpose, we'd have had a surprise whenever Holly's belly started growing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, still catching what I'm pitching. She did her job because she did what she said she was going to do. Are you a professional in the same way, regardless of how painful it is in the process, regardless of whether we just wanted to go home, regardless of if they just want the price? Are you going to stick to what you say? Hope so. Okay. Hell yeah, Faith. Let's lock it. Yeah. Sound like Jordan Waldrop, making me send crazy videos whenever she hits a goal. Now, what are we going over in the financial fire drill? Has anybody ever got to the end of their appointment, they showed numbers, and then all of a sudden that magical insurance you didn't know about just is now their solution? Oh, I can just use my life insurance from work. If you've never heard that, you've never ran many appointments, have you? Have they, Tyler? Right? You got to run some more appointments. This stuff ain't going to make sense. Remember, we're not teaching on the basics. Okay, we're helping you. This is the call where you're wanting to throw your head against the wall to see just how strong that drywall is. How do we overcome this stuff? Right? This is how you do it. All right, this is how you do it. You got to name the puppy. We're getting all this is this is bringing their inevitable future into their current reality. Future pain, we're bringing it till today. And we're gonna, what's the right word here? We're going to really good idea of where they are now in terms of financial security versus where they'd like to be to see what that gap is. The higher the gap, the more the emotion, the more likely they are to take action and buy your solution. Thanks, Kyle. Work on it every day. It's crazy. Get good. That's a good pop there, Kyle. You're gonna win here. I like that. Okay. Yeah. All we're doing is building a gap. Build gap, make money. You build big gap, you make lots of money. Is that fair? It's pretty simple. I like to talk in layman's terms. Okay. Now the question is how do we build enough trust to build a gap? Well, maybe stop being weird. How about that? How about we set a frame? Um, how about we get really good at transition phrases? All of these are in HQ as well. Okay, but we get really good at transition phrases. Like whenever we get done verifying their mortgage and we talk about equity and stuff like that. Now, I guess for you guys, Tyler, what do you guys have in place like that could help? right? Like as far as life insurance goes, how much life insurance do y'all have outside of work? And here's what they're gonna say. Oh, I got, a little bit, but I got most of mine through work. Got about 250,000 there. That's fantastic, right? We never want to talk shit about what they have. Okay? Compliment them, make them feel good. Man, that's excellent. I love work insurance. I think it's some of the very best, this is literally, I'm just plagiarizing Devin Johnson right now, something he told me 7 years ago. I think it's some of the best coverage in America, right? Because it's like a lot of coverage for, I mean, like pennies on the dollar. What are y'all paying? Like $7 a paycheck, something like that. It's like it's nothing. The thing to keep in mind is technically you don't own it. So if you were to, like, heaven forbid, you were to lose your job or get disabled, or hell, maybe you just change jobs or retire, a lot of the times, Tori, they'll tell you, hey, you can take this coverage with you when you go. The thing they fail to mention is the price is going to skyrocket once you're off that group plan, and most of the time families end up losing it. Does that make sense? So what I tell all of my families, what I tell all of my families, that's like a status. We're trying to increase our status here as a professional. What I tell all my families is this, Devin Nicola, is you get as much as you possibly can while you're at work. I know you got 250, listen, if they'll let you get 500, 750,000, do it because you're not even going to notice it in your budget, right? But use that as like the icing and then get yourself a cake, something that you own that nobody can ever take from you. Does that make sense? And they're going to say yes. And now we don't have to worry about that after we close. Well, I've still got that work policy. It's like you really don't. Like if it was a company car, that shit would be gone, before they even replaced your position. Like you guys follow me? It's not real. It's a facade. It's fairy dust. Less than 0.2% of them pay out. You can give them that stats if you want to. I don't care. Okay. And there's stipulations. It's like, well, you were driving to work, so we're not going to pay your family, but you were driving home from work. You might have been tired. There's just weird stipulations with it. Now, how much life insurance do you have? James Butler said, name that puppy. I never knew what name that puppy meant. I was like, why don't we just say with the purpose of it? I guess that's what name that puppy means. Okay. So Tyler, you said you got 15,000. Okay. Now, when would you say that you got that? About 10 years ago. Fantastic. And for you guys, like, what's that money for? And I wouldn't give them an answer yet. Okay. Let them figure it out for a second. Like, what is that money for? And they're gonna say something like, oh, like it's just life insurance. Like it's just gonna pay when I die. I was like, yeah, yeah, I got that. I guess if you were to die today, Tyler, Megan, what would you spend that money on? Because at the end of the day, life insurance is just a check. You could go buy shoes, you could go buy a funeral. It doesn't matter. What are you going to pay for with it? It's like, oh, I'd have to pay the funeral out of that. Okay, how much do you think that would run? About probably 10, 12 grand. You're right on average. My father-in-law was 18,000, but I don't know what they were thinking also. We had to do the plot, the burial, all that stuff. So I think you could do it with 15,000, but you're not going to have a whole lot left over. I will say that. Does that make sense? Gotcha. Now, whether they're going to say, "Oh, I got 15,000, that'll pay my mortgage payment for for this amount of years," it's like, no, it won't. You already spent it. You can't use it twice. Okay. See how we're just overcoming objections here? The real point outside of that of the financial fire drill. Oh, here's another question. Good one to ask. Okay. Any other life insurance policy? Yeah, I got a $100,000 policy. I got you. When does that expire? We always assume it's term. Unless they got that policy in 1972 and it's a whole life, they're not going to be able to afford it. 100 grand a whole life. It's very, very rare. Okay. I hope you guys are still like it. They don't have whole life. I think I've sat with three people in 7 years that had 100+ grand of whole life, and one of them was making 40 grand a month, and they were paying $1,000 a month for their insurance, and they still bought. It's crazy. Biggest it's 8,100 in that home, Levi. Just so you know, 8,100. Okay. Now, people that buy life insurance buy life insurance. It's crazy. Now, we spend that money. Whatever. If you want to get on the carrier, if you want to get on the phone with the carrier, do it. If it sounds fishy, call the carrier. Okay. If you know it's going to be a problem, which you'll know from reps, then I would personally reschedule the appointment and then I would call them during business hours so you can call the company. Be a true professional. Completely up to you. That's what I personally do. Because I know if I go to the end, they're going to say, well, I just want to figure out about this. And then I'll never get them on the phone again because I already gave them the price. That's me. You do your thing. All right. Now the fun part, okay, is all we're doing is just painting this picture. It's just like Tyler said. Okay, just want to give you guys some nuts and bolts. We're almost done. We may go a little bit over, but I got like 25 interviews right after this call, so we're not going to go too far over. I promise you. Okay, I don't want to get too behind on my schedule. Mortgage payment, like what are we asking them as far as finances go? Okay, or we're also asking for 401k. That's still on the sides, right? What you guys have any money under the mattress, Tyler? Like any 401ks, IRA, anything like that? Okay. Yeah, we've got a 401k. And if they're 59 and a half or less or still working with the same company, like what's gonna happen? Like if say I have a 52-year-old Tory and they got 250 grand in their IRA and they start saying things like, well, yeah, I got that money in the IRA. It's like, well, what's that for? Is that for a rainy day or is that for like your retirement? Walk me through that. Well, that's for my retirement, but she could use it. I was like, okay, she could use it, but not have any money outside of it. Okay. Do you guys know how much they're going to be penalized if she draws that money? Like it's crazy. It is insane how much they're going to be penalized. An example, I have a client that Megan King just helped roll over her TSP. Her TSP, her late husband, her husband died when she was 28. Her first husband died when he was 28. Left her like 150 grand in a TSP or something like that. Okay. Just by changing the name on the TSP, it cost her 50 grand. Just taking it from his account to her account, not her checking account, her TSP account, cost her 50 grand. Could you imagine finding that out right after you lose your best friend? And if you don't know, like, ask Eric what the actual penalization is because Eric's a genius and I'm an idiot. We all know that. Okay. Right. I mean, and I don't think it's just age either, Eric. I think you got a good head on your shoulders. I just yell at people for a living. But get it on the table, have a discussion about it. Because at the end of the day, here's the reality, and this is the fun reality. Okay. This is, you guys want to make some money? This is the secret right here. You guys ready? I might even whisper it. So this is it. They already know that they have all that shit before they sat down with you. So if they're spending 45 minutes to an hour, 30 minutes, even 15 minutes. If they're, you ever sat with like the higher level people that are making 15, 20, $25,000 a month? And they're like, well, I don't see a need for this. It's like, you got to be busy, Tyler. Like, I know you've got better things to do than sit down and talk to an insurance agent for 30 minutes. I'm assuming y'all knew all this shit before we sat down. What has you feeling like this might not, I guess, might not be enough? It's a magical question. And all of a sudden, it's crazy. What happens? It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then they just give you the answer. Damn this thing. It's crazy, Eric. It's wild, right? Or they don't, and then you can go call somebody else. But they'll give you the reason that they're there, right? And then what do? You acknowledge it. It's like, okay. So you said that your brother died, and that 300 grand. Now all of a sudden she's still got to work in retirement. Her bills are mostly paid, but just because you're debt free don't mean that you don't need paper towels and groceries and light bills and car payments and that type of stuff. Is that what I'm hearing? I'm sorry, not that's what I'm hearing because that puts the focus back on you. Is that what you're saying? Hmm. Okay. I got you. I guess how long would it, and then so we're getting into the nitty gritty of it, right? So I after that, like we're not going to get all the answers there. This is a feel thing, but it's pretty simple. It's like all the things that could help here, and then their incomes. And a really good way to do this, especially if they're older, is how much of that income is going to go here, how much of this income is going to go there. I draw lines, all that shit. Like it's my papers are crazy. After I talk with somebody, I got notes on notes on notes. But that does the heavy lifting for you, the numbers. And I'll tell you a key that I helped Scott Dickinson literally double his income with is get them to write it down after. Now, don't get them to write down all the life insurance and that, you'll be on the phone for 3 hours. But if you got all the bills here and their total outflow is $3,100 and he makes 3 grand, 4 grand, 5 grand, doesn't matter, and she makes 2 grand, like, gotcha. Hey, you got a pen there, Tyler? Could you guys just write, just so y'all are seeing what I'm seeing? Because I know it's hard to just hear this stuff. So on the left side, this is literally how I do it every single time. On the left side, I got Tyler. On the right side, I got Megan. Got that? Perfect. Under Tyler, I've got 5 grand. Under Megan, I've got 3 grand. Then in the middle, you told me y'all's bills. I mean, what y'all told me is about 4,000. But we also didn't go over like paper towels. And how much would you say that y'all save every month of y'all's income? Oh, we try to save about $250. Now, do you try to save or is it like clockwork? You definitely got 250 extra. Okay. So 250. Okay. So is it fair to say that y'all obviously spend far more than $4,000? Okay. Most people budget out about 2 extra grand in just regular household, eating out, stuff like that. Is that pretty fair? Okay. So the real number 6,000. Tyler, you make five. Megan, you make two. Y'all got $1,000 left over. And you said you're not saving. So it's probably a little bit, you guys follow me still? Like we're getting a real picture. And then like people are like, well, what questions should I ask? I'm like, well, God dog, how do you not know what freaking questions to ask? They're like, but here's the thing is they see it, but you still have to ask. Oh my gosh, I'm putting y'all on game. You still have to ask. And it don't matter what you say. It only matters what they say. They don't listen. They don't care what you say. Okay. It's all about what they say. So even if it's blatantly obvious, hey, I'm going to be up the creek without a paddle, me on lake, no paddle. It could be obvious. They still have to say it. They still have to say it. I don't care how painful it is. It's like, even if she like, don't make, lock it in, Luke. Don't say that word. She'll make anything. Okay. Nada, zero, zilch. And he makes $25,000 a month. Doesn't matter. You gotta ask. Gotcha. I guess kind of like how long, like don't ask yes or no questions. Ask like how long, like I guess how long do you feel like you could I guess sustain in this home, right? What's some other good questions? I'll just Tyler, throw some questions out before we're almost done.
Yeah, I always like asking them, especially I love it, man. And when I always am like sitting there thinking like, man, do I go critical period? Do I go partial payoff? Like, that tweener stage. But most of the time you ask them how long they would want to stay in the home by themselves. That's one of my favorite questions. It's like, okay. So guys, Mary, God forbid something happened to Charles yesterday. How long would you want to stay in this home by yourself?
Hmm.
And most of the time that one right there kind of takes you to where you need to go. Because
There's
most of the majority of the time, there's too many memories. It's like, oh, we've been in this home for 28 years. There's no way I could wake up and stay in this home with all the memories we've spent together, or the home's too big, it's too much upkeep. That's one of my favorite questions. That's right in the script.
Yeah, that one's right there. There's just so many questions. Here's a really good idea also. Like let y'all ever sat with somebody and the budget's tight, like toit, like a toy guy, like it's really tight. Like it's like, damn, y'all can't afford this. Those are also some of like my biggest premiums for some reason. Okay? Because they get it. I don't know who Dream Team Forever is, but bring it on. A little late, but bring it on. Um, is like if it is that tight, it's like I got you. So guys, I'm looking at these numbers and obviously I'm looking at this to see if there is a need. I mean, I feel like that personally for me as a professional, like there's obviously a need here for like to make sure if you die, Tyler, that Megan, you're gonna be okay. I mean, are y'all seeing that as well? Yeah, we're definitely seeing that. Okay. Um, and we can take care of that. I'm not afraid of that. It's just for you guys, I guess walk me through like have you ever heard the expression like my mom used to always say, anything worth having is worth sacrificing for? And we sacrifice for the ones that we love. Have you guys ever heard that? And if you ever say that your mama said something like mama always told me, they're never going to call your mama a dumbass. They'll call you a dumbass, but they'll never call your mama a dumbass. Okay, that's straight from Zig Ziglar and from Frank Betcher. I'm telling you, this is game here, people. This is the real stuff. It's just how you get. It's gotcha. So for you guys, I know we went through your list of expenses there. Where are we going to, not where are you, where are we? Listen, we were on the other side of the table from them. Now we're sitting between them and our arms are over both of them. And we're looking at this together like, hey, how are we going to fix this? Right? I guess like where are we going to make a sacrifice or a substitution here to make sure that you guys are protected, that or make sure that Miss Mary doesn't have to worry about, I guess, losing this home. And then they're going to look at their budget, and then what happens then? The money that they were spending on cigarettes, the money they were spending on NFL package, money that they were just pissing away, right? They've got the money. They're spending it on something else. It's like people telling me they don't have time to dial, right? I don't have enough time. It's like you have the time, you're just wasting it doing something. You're still doing something with it. We all have the same hours. How does Elon Musk have 57 companies and worth $27 billion? Probably more than that at this point. He's got the same hours we do. He just puts the right stuff into them, right? There's also that one, James. Well, that's good. How could I like if you were my own brother, I'd tell you exactly what I'm about to tell you now. That's Frank Betcher. I hope that this is making sense. You can sacrifice inside of their budget and insert your premium there. So if you can find $200 in their budget of them, like, but they are the ones that it's their idea. It's not your idea. You're asking questions. They're coming to the conclusion it's their idea. And all of a sudden you're the freaking professional that makes, like, they're going to love you forever if you do that with them. Or you can just throw them a price, see if it sticks. It's up to you. I don't care either way, but they're probably going to cancel it, fall down the lead, and then I'll sell it and they'll keep it. So it doesn't matter, right? Treat it like a profession because it is. This is a very noble cause that we do here. We deliver checks to grieving spouses and widows and kids and shit for a living. Like this stuff matters. Take it seriously or don't, or don't. Why do life insurance agents get such a bad rap? It's because most of these can't say that word here either. Most of these people quit after 10 months. What does that mean? The three or four families that they helped in the first 10 months, because I mean they clearly weren't making money, but the people that they did help during that period, now they don't have an agent. So they're calling on hold with Mutual of Omaha for 4 years because they're trying to change their beneficiary because their wife died. And they ain't got nobody to call. And they're like, man, this is bullshit. I got that. Like, what the hell? Like, be a professional. Okay, take it seriously. Take notes. Care about them. And if you don't care about them, again, you can make money here, but you got to care about them, man. Let's go get after it today. Love you guys. Take it to zero. Fill up your calendar during the no shows. My God, let's go to fucking work. Come on.